Hi friends, today we're going to be taking a little quiz over all the geometry that we have done the past 2 weeks. So we're going to do a review. I would like you to take notes over this. I'll let you know what you should write down, and then you can use these notes to help you out. And hopefully a lot of this made sense. So let's get started. Starting off with the area of a triangle. To find the area, we do base times height, and then we divide by 2. Always have to divide by 2 for a triangle. So write this down for a triangle, base times height, and then divide by 2. So let's look at an example. If we have a triangle here, let's call the base 8 units. Let's call the height 6 units. Okay, remember when we're deciding where the base and the height are, we always have to find this perpendicular right angle marker. That's going to show what connects the base to the height. If they give you extra information, like let's say they put a 5 over here, and let's say they put a 7 over here, don't use those numbers. Those numbers are just there to fool you. Cross those out. So to find the area of this triangle, we would do 8 times 6, which is 48. Divide that by 2, and we get 24 square units. So once again, area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2. Next example, area of a parallelogram. This is simply base times height. Okay, so no dividing by 2 for parallelograms. When you're playing the parallelogram game, do not divide by 2. Let's look at an example. A parallelogram, let's say this is 7 units. Say the height is 4 units. And they might give you some extra information, like a 5 over here. As always, we are going to look for that right angle. That right angle connects your base to your height. The dotted line is the height. Use those numbers. That 5, it's just there to trick you. So to find the area, we do 7 times 4, which is 28 units squared. Once again, when we're playing the parallelogram game, base times height. When you're playing the triangle game, you have to divide by 2. Next example, the trapezoid game. This has a few more steps. Step 1, you're going to add the bases, base 1 plus base 2. Step 2, you're going to divide by 2. Remember, one base is too big, one base is too small, but when we divide by 2, that gives us the base that is just right. Step 3, multiply by the height. So let's look at an example. Let's say this first base is 5. Let's say this other base is 11. And let's call our height, let's call that 6. Okay, so the steps we're going to take here, we're going to add the bases. 5 plus 11 is 16. We're going to divide the bases by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And then we're going to multiply our new base, the just right base, by the height. In this case, the height is 6. 8 times 6 is 48. So our area is 48 square units. Okay, write these 3 steps down. You add the bases, base 1, base 2, divide by 2, and then multiply by the height. Next, working backwards. Okay. This is where we have to divide. Let's say we have a trapezoid. We know that the base is 9. The height we don't know. but we are given that the area is equal to, let's call it 54. So because we know area is base times height, we know the area is 54, the base is 9, times the height we don't know. So to get the height, we work backwards, we divide by 9. 54 divided by 9, that gives us that the height is 6. So when you are working backwards in a parallelogram, let's write down some notes here. If you're trying to find the height, you take the area and divide it by the base. If you're trying to find the base, you take the area and divide it by the height. Our next working backwards example is going to be in triangles. I'm working backwards. In a triangle. Let's give some steps here. You're going to multiply the area by 2, and then you are going to divide by the base, and that will give you the height. Or you can divide by the height, that will give you the base. But it's key to first you have to multiply the area by 2. Let's see why this is. Okay. We have a triangle. Let's say that this is 12. We don't know the height, but we know that the area is, let's go with, let's say that the area is, sorry, I'm trying to think of my feet here. 72. Okay, so step 1, we multiply the area by 2. 72 times 2 is 144. Divide that by the base, and that gives us 12 as well, so that's the height. 12 is the height. If we want to see that a little more algebraically, area equals base times height divided by 2. Area we said was 72 equals 12 times height divided by 2. So to solve this, we would multiply both sides by 2, and we get 144 equals 12h. So h has to equal 12 as well. Last example, for composite shapes, these are the shapes that are kind of funny looking, where it might be something like this. There's no hard and fast rule on what to do, but you're going to split it into smaller shapes that you know. Like this, we could split it into a smaller rectangle, find the area of that, call that area 1. Find the area of the bigger rectangle, we'll call that area 2. And then these two areas, you are just going to add them together. Okay, good luck with today's quiz. I think you'll do great. Thanks. Bye.